Hey guys, Cannon here. Been a while. I would explain what was going on, but it is a long story, so I want to get to the part of the video. So, in the few months that I was gone, I wanted to make this video to talk about a very specific kind of problem that was going on. I wouldn't call it drama, but I would call it a genuine issue that I spotted while the ID was going through discussion. Lucio's story is something that I really like because he's just this guy that got brought in from the back streets and feels like he kind of owes his survival to Valentina, only to just die because he just didn't have the strength to go forward with his story now. And that's the main reason why I got really attached to Lucio, and when the discussion started propping up, that's when it started getting a little bit more personal, seeing all the stupid, moronic people arguing over and over and over again about who he's going to be, even though it's pretty obvious. I wanted to start it off by this one person. This one got a really big laugh out of me because this is just funny as shit. I agree, Albina will be Faust, but Lucio is definitely Heathcliff. And we are getting a ring nurse father ID, and we'll be getting IDs for all the apprentices and nurse fathers. And the guy that we're talking about directly mentions, "What makes you so sure Lucio is Heathcliff? The only similarity is that they're both from the back streets. 70% of the Project Moon characters have that in common. I'd say it's Honglu, because both were made to witness something by authority figures, and both just accepted it without fighting back." A couple hours later, the Honglu Callisto teaser came out. And the guy got replied to by another person saying, "Hey, Honglu is Callisto." And the guy responded with, "Yeah, KJH changed it last minute because he saw I got all the planned IDs correct." This is a really funny case because the person actually has a prediction list for all the IDs. So let's go take a peek. As you can see here on the list, they had from March 5th up to August 20th. August 20th being the gaze bearing. Noticing how we have 5 days before it, so I can't wait to see Marisol twerking his shit on camera. But let's check out the IDs. So first of all, you got Art of Blossom Faust, AEDD Gregor, Hornet Marisol, and Faint Aroma Ryoshi. But then that's where we get into the funny parts. So the next ID would be Albina Faust. And it mentions that Albina is not exciting as the other apprentices or nurse fathers, so it's good to slaughter in between the Bocock and Intervallo. But then I'm going to ask you the question. Why release Albina if she's not interesting? Why release her in the first place? Why not the ring nurse father?
Ring nurse.
But then the next one's a little strange. Ujat Sinclair. Good generic ID to split the hype. Why? Why would you split the hype? Why would a gaming company for a gacha split the hype? Are you kidding me? Are you a fucking moron? Imagine KJH in the studio is "You need to shut it down all quick. They found out about Ujat Sinclair. You need to do something about it." It just doesn't make sense. That was funny. That's funny. That's really funny. It's just a guy with predictions way too close to home, does not want to be proven wrong. That's funny. But then we get into the parts that actually make me a little mad. So we have this one, where the person says, because Heathcliff doesn't look like someone who would get abused, he would bash Valentina head the moment she abused him. Now, considering the grammar, I'm going to assume that you don't read or write, because the entirety of Heathcliff's canto is about his abuse and him moving past it and moving on from that spot. I know it's a very gross simplification of what the actual story is, and I apologize for that. But saying Heathcliff is not the kind to be abused is so unbelievably gross that I have no words for it. I just have no words for it. And on that topic, here's a different one. This one is from a very special case. I'm going to have to censor a lot of things about this person, but essentially it's this guy saying that oh yeah, no, Heathcliff in the book mirrors Hindley and parallels to Val, and book Heathcliff literally uses his child as a tool. Now be disappointed but unsurprised if Rodion gets it. Now, here's my main problem with this thinking process. What are you telling me that in between Ishmael's canto and Heathcliff's canto, Catherine boarded the bus and they had a child and they're now expecting? Like, no. Just because it happens in the book doesn't mean it's going to happen in Limbus Company. That should be really fucking obvious, but these people, again, just for the sake of being right and being different, refuse. They just refuse to understand that. They just want to feel different, and that's the main problem that I'm seeing. We got a teaser for the Blade of the House of Spiders, where there was this trailer that clearly showed Heathcliff being behind the Thumb Nursefather, and people were still arguing that, like, it's supposed to be Gregor. Like, it's the easiest game of Clue. Like, if you can guess what Limbus Company character is, I will kill myself. And then we have this person that's like, oh, well, Heathcliff's story just doesn't fit very well if it is him. It'd be a pity ID for those bum asses. Like, they would have to give him a vastly different uptie story to justify that shit. But yeah, they're gonna have to change the guy from the back streets to a guy from the back streets that gets adopted. Yeah, they're gonna have to change that. And then this is the last one I'm going to do, because honestly, this is just like the worst of the worst. It was speculated to either be Hong Lu or Heathcliff, but Hong Lu got a House of Spiders ID, so that means it's guaranteed that Lucio isn't going to Hong Lu. The guy responded, nothing is for certain, since they could come from different mirror worlds. We won't know for sure unless there's an uptie story or just a trailer. You're telling me that they're going to they would make a they're going to make a separate mirror world just for you to be right? That's just shocking to me. Like, why would they do that? Why would they make a separate mirror world just so that people can be right about Hong Lu being the Thumb Apprentice? That makes no sense.
This is editing canon here. I just wanted to mention that since they're doing anti-LARP techniques at Ham Ham Pang Pang, they should ask the person coming in what they thought the Lucio ID was going to.
There's also this group of people that was like, oh yeah, no, but like, Valentina and Lucio, they parallel Hong Lu and like his grandmother and his mom. And like, oh yeah, no, I remember when Hong Lu's like depressed the drunken mom threw a beer bottle at him, telling him to get more beer. Yeah, I remember that happening in the story. Yeah, that was pretty clear. Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I'm not gonna talk any further because honestly, this discussion could go on and on and on and on and on. It's just a bunch of stupid people at the end of the day, and yeah, that's where I'm gonna keep it. So, yeah, see ya.